And we're live. Welcome everybody to this week's Azure and AI show. And um, we have Chris here with us. Chris is an MCT and an MVP, and he's going to do a talk for us. And we have Priya there as well, and she's a new MCT. Congratulations. So, Chris, you're up first, and we've got Dan Ray and myself, Frank Falvey, of course. So, Chris, I have your screen up here. We can see it there now.
Okay, great. So, nice to meet you guys. What we will see together, we will talk about Microsoft Copilot for Security, which is, let's say, the new artificial intelligence teammate against threats. And I want to give you a sneak peek of what is all about. First of all, as the guy said, I'm a Microsoft certified trainer since actually year 2000. Sorry about that mistake. And I celebrate my anniversary for 25 years today being a Microsoft certified trainer. I'm also an MVP and I'm located in Thessaloniki, Greece. You can check the map to see where I do actually live. So, let's go on and check the agenda. What will we see together is I'm going to describe you and show you what Microsoft Copilot for Security is, and I will give you some examples about how can you use Copilot for Security and what it actually does, how it works. So, uh, this is, let's say, the marketing slide of Microsoft when they want to advertise security with Copilot. Actually, Copilot for Security is a tool that is already integrated into Azure and into Microsoft 365 admin portals, and specifically where you have to deal with security. Okay, you will see a lot of examples and you will realize how can you use it. Microsoft says that we can actually solve all these mysterious messages and things that we get in the security portals just by using natural language. And that's the good thing, because when we deal about security, all these portals, they give us some, let's say, very difficult to understand messages. So what Security Copilot can do for you, can analyze all these strange and weird messages that you get from security and make them easier for you. When you use Security Copilot, you have to choose between these two experiences, as Microsoft says. It's the embedded experience, and this is actually what I told you about already. It's a tool that is already integrated in Microsoft 365 Defender, Purview, admin portals that have to do especially with security. The other experience is the standalone experience. It's actually, let's name it, let's describe it as a website where you can actually use prompts more or less the same way that you do it with ChatGPT. I'm sure that everybody is familiar with ChatGPT these days. So what you can actually do, you can use your prompts by using natural language, but the standalone experience is also tied and integrated with all the other portals. So assuming that you get an incident ID from Microsoft Defender XDR, you can grab that specific number, the incident ID, and you can directly paste it, use it in the standalone experience, and ask Security Copilot to analyze everything that is going on related to that specific incident. So it's very good because you can get a lot of suggestions, recommendations about the tool, about what's happening, what is this incident all about, and what should you do in order to to have better security in Microsoft 365 and Azure. So let's see some examples. This is the standalone experience. It's Security Copilot through a dedicated site. It's the URL of that specific site is securitycopilot.microsoft.com. And as you can see, as some examples here, the following script was detected. Can you analyze and determine if it's malicious? So you actually give to Security Copilot the scripts and it can go through the analysis. Take a look at another example. Provide brief summary of the most recent attacks to your company. Or another one, show information about the last login from a specific user. The tool will analyze everything and will give you back the result. Another thing that you can do, instead of using, let's say, these ready-made prompts, you can use the prompt window down here, and you can ask in natural language about all security incidents and get back all this information. So actually, the user can make a request in natural language and receive responses as text, images, or even documents. This is the standalone experience. The embedded experience looks more or less like this. As you can see, now I'm in Microsoft 365 Defender portal. I would like to write a script for the advanced handling that is located in Defender. The only thing here is I don't know how to write the code. Okay. What can Security Copilot can do for me? I just go and write the prompt down here, get logon attempts by domain accounts targeted by credential theft. And Copilot for Security will give me the exact script that I can add it and run it and get back the results. Imagine how useful is this, because a lot of people do not know how to write scripts, custom query language scripts that are used in advanced handling. So you just describe to Security Copilot what do you want to do actually, and will give you back the script to use it in advanced handling. And this specific button, Security Copilot, is present in every security portal that you can use in Microsoft Azure and in Microsoft 365. So let's do some quick demos to actually understand how it works. The first one is to investigate failed login attempts automatically. I would like to use prompt books with logic apps in Defender, XDR, and Microsoft Sentinel. What is a prompt book? A prompt book is a set of actions that are already there, and you can use them to embed them in a sequence. You will see that in a moment. So let's go and try to investigate failed logins attempts automatically. If you check the standalone experience of Security Copilot, there is already in the prompt book library a prompt that says fail login attempts automation. And you can run this one. And if you want, you can run this and see what it's all about. Take a look at this. When you try to run this prompt book, it will run the following query to identify failed sign-ins. Then it will ask GPT to provide a representation of the above table result in JSON format of the top 5 records. It will run a reputation scoring for the IP addresses identified in the prompt above. It will use Microsoft Defender and run geolocation for the IP addresses identified in this specific prompt. And the final and the good one is it will give you a report that you can use it to present it to your manager, to your security team, whatever. Okay, this is a ready-made prompt book. You can run your own prompt books, or you can even change these ones with, let's say, maybe different outputs here. So if you get this prompt book and you embed it in a Logic App Designer in Azure, it will give you something similar to this. You can take a look at this Logic App. I would like to investigate a Microsoft Sentinel incident. I would like to get information about failed logins. And as soon as you run the query, the results of these queries will go to Copilot prompt book, the prompt book that I show you a little bit earlier. It will submit this to Copilot, and it can create a report or even send you an email, send an email to your security team. So as you run this logic app, you can get an email similar to this one. All the failed login attempts with all the information that you need. As you can see, this email message came from securitycopilot@contoso.com, whatever, and this mail is being sent to the SOC team here of our company. So all the security team will get a similar information like this one. Investigation report, anomalous sign-ins, and the summary of the findings. Let's check another one. I would like to instantly get a report that analyzes a suspicious script. And when we talk about suspicious scripts, in many cases, it could be something like a PowerShell base 64 encoded script. And if you check that script, you cannot actually get an idea of what it does. Security Copilot can analyze the script and give you back the results. So we can get a report that analyzes a suspicious script using, again, prompt books with logic apps in Defender XDR and Microsoft Sentinel. So take a look at this. A prompt book that already exists in Security Copilot, it's this one, Suspicious Script Analysis. So the following script was found as part of a potential security incident. Explain what this script does step by step, and give me all the information that I need. Provide the reputation of any IPs or host names found, list any threat intelligence correlated to indicators found in the script, extract all indicators from the script that could be used within a detection query, and based on the actions of the script, give me specific recommendations for how to respond to this script if it were executed in a corporate production environment, and then summarize the findings. So if you include this prompt book again in Logic App Designer and submit, let's say, all the information that this script will do in Copilot for Security, you can get, we're in the incident page in Microsoft Azure, and Copilot gave me all this information back. A PowerShell script was identified that decodes a base 64 encoded command to retrieve a URL. As you can see, you have all the information about this script will do. So defines a function, threat intelligence, no relevant threat intelligence was found for the following indicators, okay? But the best thing here is that it gives you response suggestions. What do you need to do? Immediate response actions. Isolate the affected system, block the URLs and the IP addresses, collect the data, and log analysis. So you get the actions that this PowerShell script will do, but you also get suggestions. Okay, let's check another one. Uncover and manage hidden data risks. In this scenario, we will use Microsoft Purview Data Security Posture Management. Okay. So if you check the new Purview portal, you can see that there is a new button here, Data Security Posture Management. I don't really remember if it's in preview, still in preview, but anyway, it's going to be there. So if you click on that one, you have some other actions that you can do with Copilot. One of them is this, detect sensitive data leaks. And there is a specific prompt book here that says which sensitive files were shared outside the organization from some point in the last week. You can use this as an example, or you can change it a little bit and get your own results. But anyway, what you can actually do with data loss prevention in Purview. I would like to find if there is any sensitive information that was leaked outside my company. Okay, and that's really very important when we talk about data loss prevention. So if you run this, You can submit a query in Copilot for security. Which sensitive files were shared outside the organization from SharePoint in the last week? And Copilot for security will give you back the response. In the last week, the following sensitive files were shared outside the organization from SharePoint. For the first file, the second one, and the third one. As you can see, there are two Word files and one PDF file. The next thing I would like to do is this. Show me the activities involving highly confidential label files, or what are the labels of these files, or even show me the users who shared above files externally. And if you check this and if you think about it, it's very difficult to go and get that information by using a different way. How can you check which are the users that shared this information externally? Okay, you can actually ask Security Copilot for this. The next thing I want to do is to give me a list of all label downgrade and exfiltration activities on files related with Project Obsidian information, related to these files actually. I would like to know if some users downgraded the sensitivity labels in Purview Information Protection. So just give me all the activities related to label downgrade and exfiltration. These are the results, and Copilot for Security gives you all the activities. As you can see here, we had the first activity, the second activity, label downgrade again, exfiltration activity down here, and another exfiltration activity down here. And I would like to know, now that I've got the results, I would like to know how can an adaptive protection policy in Purview can help me prevent this in the future. So we know we have the data, we have the information, but we would like to do something to protect all this information, and we do not want this happen again in the future. So when you ask this to Copilot, it gives you everything that you need to know. What do you need to do? With examples here, you can do this using policies. Adaptive protection policies can be manually configured or set up using quick setup options, and it gives you all the necessary actions that you need to do. Let's check another one. Troubleshoot issues with speed and precision, reduce attack surface, and streamline workflows. And this is the Security Copilot integrated in Microsoft Intune. Okay, so let's take a look at this. If you log into the Intune Admin Center, you have two specific options here: policy management and troubleshooting. Okay, and again, all these two options are available because we use Microsoft Copilot for security. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run some queries to actually discover devices and what kind of devices I want to discover. Take a look at this. Copilot will still suggest you some prompts here. For example, show me Windows 11 devices, or show me TPM2 devices, or even show me the devices with Intel CPUs. I would like to do something different here. The prompt that I want to ask Copilot is this: show me how many devices running the Windows version, that one, have not patched in the last 20 days. Summarize the recent updates count. Display the device name, operating system version, and architecture for those devices. Okay, and when you run this, we'll get a custom query language, a query, and you can actually add this query to the editor or even add it and run it. Remember what I was telling you earlier, not everybody knows how to write, how to use these scripts. Okay, with Copilot for Security, we have the script ready, and when we add and run it, we'll get the results. This is the script that Copilot suggested. I've used that script, and I have a list of all the devices that match that specific query. Okay, the next thing I could do is to use Microsoft Entra, Microsoft Copilot for Security in Microsoft Entra. And what I would like to do here is to quickly assess user risk and get actionable remediation recommendations related to user accounts in Microsoft Entra. So now I'm in the identity protection dashboard in Microsoft Entra, and what I can do could be this: show me my most recent high-risk users. Okay. And as soon as you run this prompt in Copilot for Security, you get the results. We have 4 users. Here are the most recent high-risk users identified in your Microsoft Entra ID. And this is actually something that is done using data from the identity protection dashboard. But anyway, you get the information here. And probably the next thing that you could do is to click on a specific user, because as you can see back here, we have all these risky users. And if you click on a specific user account in Entra ID, you have the risky user details, a summary of what happened and why this user is considered a risky user. And the next thing is what to do. Check to ensure this user is in scope of this risk-based conditional access policies or a user policy, whatever you like, and also the relevant documentation here in case you want to use it. As soon as you get that information, you can use the identity protection dashboard to user is safe or dismiss this user risk entirely, or even if you want, you can still block this user right away just by using this identity protection dashboard. So another thing that we could do is, okay, we found some risky users, but let's check what happened one day before this incident. For security, show me the sign-ins for the user one day before the alert, and actually gives you that information. Sign-in details one day before, and as you can see here, the user used the Azure portal to sign in by using a specific IP address, using a browser, exact location, the device. The status of the sign-in was success because MFA was used anyway. Another IP address and another one. So you get all the information related to that specific user sign-ins one day before the alert. And now that I have this information, I would like to check what MFA methods are available for that specific user, just to be sure that the user is using MFA. Okay, we are lucky here because it tells me that the user used the password authentication method and of course Microsoft Authenticator on an iPhone. So I just need to know that the user uses a secure sign-in method to connect to Entra ID. Okay. The next thing that I would like to know is how to remediate the attacker in the middle threat for a specific user, because after all, the information that I got from this incident, it was actually a attacker in the middle threat for that specific user. So I would like to know what I need to do to remediate this threat. And Copilot for Security will give you all the necessary actions that you need to do in order to protect that user. Reset the user's account credentials, revoke access tokens, use number matching in Authenticator, block the IP address of the attacker, and all the actions that you need to do. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how can you get Microsoft Copilot for Security. Actually, you need an Azure subscription because it's based on Microsoft Azure anyway. And when you get Copilot for Security, you need to specify your Copilot capacity. What is the Copilot capacity? We need to specify how many secure compute units we need to get in order for Copilot for Security to run. And Microsoft recommends at least 2 secure compute units. Okay, so as you can see, I need to use the Azure portal to specify my compute capacity, okay? And down here, I would like to use 1 or 2. Microsoft recommends 2, as I told you anyway. The next thing that somebody probably wants to know is, what about the cost of Copilot for security? So the cost, if we use Azure pricing calculator, it's more or less like this. I've used as a region West Europe. I've specified that I need to get 2 secure compute units per hour, assuming that you run these secure compute units 24 hours a day, 30 days a month. The cost in euros, excuse me for the euros, but okay, more or less you can find the correct amount you can think about. The cost for 2 security compute units is this one. Okay. And now there is the big announcement of Microsoft Ignite this year. Microsoft already announced that for all customers that use a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription, Copilot for Security will be included for free. Okay. There is an article that tells you how much security compute units you get. Practically, depending on the number of users that you have in your Microsoft 365 E5 subscription, Microsoft gives you a specific number of security compute units depending on the users that you get. And that was the big announcement, I think, of yesterday through Microsoft Ignite. Okay, so if you get, let's say, 40 users in your Microsoft 365 E5 subscription, you get a specific number of compute units. If you have 1,000 users, you get more and more and more, depending actually analogically on the number of users that you have in your subscription. Okay, so thank you very much. I don't know if I'm out of time. I think we are okay, Frank.
Yeah, we're ahead of schedule. You're fine. Very interesting. Seeing all those different examples there, and how Copilot can actually drill down through the actual, we'd say, attack or whatever. The DPL, data loss protection, is very interesting there as well. So you can actually see who's actually taking data and what data. Very interesting.
Okay.
Good job.
Good.
Thank you very much, guys.
Well, so Dan, any questions on that?
No, I think that was a wonderful demo, and liked your examples.
Yeah.
My idea was to give you some, let's say, sneak peek of what it does. So that's it. Thank you very much.
That's great, Chris. Thank you. So, Rafiah, do you want to share your screen? If you hit the presenting in the bottom.
Yeah, sure.
And then it'll pop up, and if you hit the entire screen, we'll see it on our side, and we can put it up on the screen then.
Yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, I'll leave you guys. Thank you very much, because it's
I was going to say it's probably late.
It's 7:30. It's Saturday night. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, we can see your
you can see my screen.
Yeah, we got it there. Azure and AI Show Copilot. Very good.
So hi, this is Priya, and I'm working as a systems architect. So as you told, I've just finished my MCT. So I'm just joining all these sessions. It would be a learning for myself, and also to give a visualization on how Copilot is helping the organization. So Microsoft Copilot, right? It's an UI for AI. So it can integrate with millions of tools right now, because not only internal tools, but also external tools, third-party tools. It is developing every day. and also the agents and extensibility, right? So as Chris told, security level or on the privacy and compliance level also, there are a lot of things coming around Microsoft Copilot, and the purchasing options are also changing day by day. So I speak to a lot of people who are actually using Copilot, and they share their business impact and how it is helping them in each and every way, right? So there, if I see, when I say Copilot is a UI for AI, I can see that Copilot is the front end, which is from which I can connect to a lot of Microsoft tools, and not only Microsoft tools, even the third party tools. But at the back end, the agents is coming up, right? So people are relying more on the agents because they believe that even though Copilot can do the basic functionalities, but agents are far more, where they use the LLM model and they can give what they are asking for. So in the latest Ignite, it is far more advanced, that it is working based on the work IQ. So if I'm part of a specific team, so usually the agents, how they work is they understand the pattern of my team and they give the data which I need. But with the work IQ pattern, it is understanding how Priya is going to respond to this email, or how Priya is going to work, what is my work pattern. So it is, and I feel they are coming close to the humans, and they are giving the pattern or the way of output, which is more on a human level, right? So all these are controlled by the Copilot control system. So Copilot control system, it not only secures the environment but also monitoring. So when we talk about monitoring happens on the analytics like Viva Insights or Copilot analytics. So when I speak about monitoring, the analytic part of it comes right from the beginning of the Copilot journey, where, for example, if I'm on an adoption phase, I need to understand how many people are actively using Copilot. So that is where this Viva Insights or Copilot analytics comes into place, where I can integrate that with Power BI and create dashboards on the to understand the current utilization. Because when I speak to organizations, they say we purchase Copilot, but what about the utilization? They are not using it effectively. The one thing I can understand is it could be because of the knowledge, or it could be because of the exposure they don't have, right? So there need to be proper teams set up, like pilot users, where they need to adopt for that. So with respect to Copilot, Microsoft is promising the trust, right? So they don't control your data, they just secure your data, and they don't use the data for training their own models. Also, there are protected via certain copyrights, and also region-wise protection is there. So if anyone is planning for a Copilot journey, they can be sure that their data is not being used by Microsoft. So when we speak about the generative AI, so over 80%, right? So the major concern companies have is that the oversharing of data. So what if my data is being used, or oversharing is being done? So when I talk about the oversharing, what happens is that I always tell people that when you're planning for a Copilot, do an internal assessment. First, check on the existing permissions and policies which are being used by Microsoft, and what are the existing platforms which are there. Because what happens is that they are not doing an assessment of the existing organization permissions, and that's where the oversharing or the data leakage happens, right? So now even with a security co-pilot that can be identified, like Chris told, like where the users are, what level of permissions there is, there any data leakage, and also identifying the risk, what is the risk to the organization level, also on the user level. So these are the few things we need to look into. And AI governance and risk visibility. So we need to feel more confident while using the apps and tools. And when integrating the third-party tools, we need to make sure that it is following the set of rules which Microsoft is requesting for. So in order to address the oversharing contents, we need to have the for example, we need to have what are the existing permissions and how these sensitive files are can be handled. So that's where this DLP or all these permissions come into place, where we are labeling them so that we are protecting them. And also like data risk or insider risk. So if we have a proper security system, right, like it can be a Defender or a Intune or whichever, can be integrated to get the alerts and to analyze the behavior, user behavior on the user level, or even the behavior on the accessing the sensitive files or the co-pilot interactions. Everything will help the organization to move towards Copilot. So that's where, when we pitch in for security Copilot, we talk about these topics, like what are the places it can be helpful. And then governance. So governance is like we need to audit the logs. So we need to investigate and we need to check whether if there is any compliance or ethical violations, on how is the life cycle going on, right from the start to the end, how is it being done. So all these things are few points whoever is adopting for Copilot, they need to take into consideration. So this comes as a curve. So initially we access whatever the existing permissions we have, and then we also need to concentrate on what is the return on investment, right? Because that's the thing organizations look for. Even if we say Copilot, we need to prove them what am I bringing to the organization, either in the cost saving or either in the time saving. So those things we need to look after. And yes, obviously it is the governance part. So this is basic, everyone know, but these are the top 10 features which everyone should start trying with when they are leaning for Copilot journey, or when they are starting. So recapping a meeting, or summarize an email thread, or draft an email, summarize a document, or give me some ideas. These are the basic things which an organization, or as a user, or even a beginner who wants to start with the Copilot journey, they can try with all these different options before going and building the agents or going into the advanced level. These are the few things which makes us understand how the behavior of Copilot is like. This is mainly for the new users. So when I start with the AI value journey, we go from the organization level, functional value, and individual value, right? So when I talk about the individual value, it is like, as a user, when I log in and log out, where this Copilot is helping me. So it can be from normal drafting email to creating an agent, right? Next one is functional value. So if I'm a group of a specific team and I'm doing some regular tasks, maybe if I'm a sales team, I get the list of products, and that products, so we need to check the sales value every day. So yes, I can create a role-based agents, or which can integrate with your dynamic sales. So I can share an example where I worked. So that organization, it's a construction company. They have the products come in, that is every day the manufacturing products come in, and they need to analyze how much is the sales day in day out. So they integrated that with the dynamic sales, and also if they have any leads need to be converted into opportunities, it was difficult for them to track it. But with this small agent, they are able to check the ratio of how many leads coming in per day and how much can be converted into opportunity. So those are functional values. And org level, like autonomous agents which work on their own, like for example, if there is any approval or anything which is organization level. So we need, whenever we go for planning for an agent, we need to make sure is that agent is going to solve an individual purpose or a specific organization like HR, sales, or a specific team, or it's for the entire organization. So if we segregate that way while creating an agent, it would be very useful. Yeah. And Microsoft 365, as of now, it comes with the Copilot chat, and also the inclusively it has, I mean, each one has their own licensing system, but it comes with agents, M365 control systems, and analytics. So all these three is 30 pounds now, but after the Ignite, I saw that it's included with E5, the security Copilot. So yeah, if we want to try, we can go for this. So how a success of Copilot is analyzed is mainly basic on the responsible AI principle. So on the leadership level, we need to have a council, and we need to have the leaders who are working on it, and human change, like how I'm going from legacy platform to the Copilot environment, how I'm adapting myself, and technical readiness. So if in case if an organization is changing to a thing, what are the technical readiness we need to be make sure? For example, if I'm having all my data in the SharePoint, then I need to take the list of existing permissions, or if I'm planning to deploy a security, then what are the defenders, or what are the existing security principle I have that can be integrated with Copilot. And always to remember that whatever the permissions we have existing, those are the things which are like the Copilot is going to access the same. So but we need to do an initial assessment before that. So when I talk about agents, yes, there are a lot of agents, but how they work is one is reactive agent. So reactive agent is something that handle the input, like whatever you give, it responds. Okay, it does not store any historical data. So whatever you give, it just responds. But model based is something like whatever the decisions in the environment. Okay, so let's say. It works on a specific model. So whatever we give, maybe the connecting to the Power Platform or anything, those are model based agents. And goal based is, so let's say recently I saw that Microsoft Ignite, they posted that in Microsoft Learn, you can have a you can tell what's your role and what's your ambition or what's your goal. They are giving suggestions on what topics you can go through. So that's also an example of goal based agent. And utility, like based on the outcomes. So these are the different thing. And yes, learning agents. So if you have a learning center or knowledge base, so based on that, these agents work come into. So recently, NHS or many healthcare, they have shown the success in adopting these and monitoring and tracking. So even if we are in the IT background, we can see that these reactive agents provide a greater support in the healthcare industry, right? So like MRI, X-rays, and anything. And in finance, like to learn how the agents are being used, or how they are working based on a certain goal. So all these comes under the finance agents. And yes, manufacturing also, we have the learning agents. So the agents which we decide, the backend is same, but in which platform it goes is decided either by the organization or the person who's going to implement it. So they need to have the knowledge on how these agents are going to work, right? So this is one of the example of the researcher agent. So researcher agent, mainly it gives you the detailed analysis of each and every thing, and it does the complete research, right? So it can compile reports or validate facts. And I believe it's a separate platform based on the requirement. So how you can access it or search for internal or external data, all these things. Next is the how a researcher, for example, in this case, how a researcher start and end date with Copilot begins, right? So this is quite basic, but for example, they recap the meeting or respond to the email. So they create the agenda. So it is the start, till the start and till the end. These agents help them in a it's very useful. So same way in different organizations, so based on the requirement, these things changes. So analyst agent is like if you have a huge data set, okay, and maybe that data set, if we need to identify the patterns or create dashboard and metrics, or if you want to forecast something, in those kind of scenarios, we do go for the analyst agent, mainly to convert the data into insights. So what is the data we input and what is the predicted value we get? So those things are the analyst agent. And sales agents, yes, they help us like answering the customer queries or recommending certain products, or it can be integrated with the dynamic sales to give us the leads and how many leads are there and how many leads are converting into opportunities, and how it can like even the customer interaction that can be automated, so using these sales agent. So next is the skills agent, like in an organization, how the, because the learning platform or the curve is different for each individual. So how they can upskill based on the organization or based on the team or based on the skill set or job role. So those things are skills agent. And employee self-service, yes, this is very famous because HR agents, right from the user onboarding to the leaving the organization or booking leave or checking company policies. So all these are coming under the employee self-service agent. So yeah, sad thing is many HRs are losing jobs because of this, but yeah, but this is a very good agent which is being adopted by many organizations. Then SharePoint agent. So SharePoint agent is a basic agent to start with if anyone is planning to create an agent, where you can create an agent and you can point to the SharePoint site wherever your data is, and you can also put a trigger and an action value. So for, let's say, if any file is added to the SharePoint site, that is a trigger, and the action is email needs to be sent to the specific team. So this is more useful in case of when front end users go to the site and they fill out some form and put it in the SharePoint. The organization people or the manager knows about it. So these, if we planning to start with the agents, I would suggest to go with the start with the SharePoint agents. So, and the next thing is how security, Chris spoke detailed about it, but for example, if you have Defender for cloud apps or Defender for endpoint or Purview DLP, right? So for cloud apps, these are the certain things that can be done through Copilot data. For example, they can't install unauthorized apps, or if it is integrated with Intune, then yes, the devices are managed based on conditional access, app control, or session monitoring, and ASR rules, Defender for endpoint, everything. Right, so all these helps in protecting like what data is being used and who is using the data, and what kind of transactions are being done, so that on the M365 level, also on the Copilot level, the environment is secured. Right, so and nowadays, like when we are customizing Copilot workflows, we need to check on how the prompts, that is more important, prompt engineering, or how the prompt, like if there is a standardized prompt, we can regulate it, we can keep the template customized. And Copilot Studio also, like if we have a specific workflow template, we can create the template and keep, or the business logic tailored. And yes, as I told you, like it can be integrated with SharePoint, Teams, Dynamics, SAP, or in anything. And security level also, we can make sure we have sensitive labels or permissions or DLP rules to to control the Copilot, so that we have a control on what Copilot can generate and what Copilot can access. And also internal knowledge source. So in case if users have issues or how to use Copilot, we can create internal knowledge shows, put it in a SharePoint, create a SharePoint agent for that. And while adopting, we need to have the foundational training, that is a basic training for the entire organization, and role-based training. So if there are in specific roles, we need to have role-based training, maybe finance, sales, and also how best way we can put the prompting and security. All these helps in adopting the Copilot in an organization in an effective way. So next one is, I've seen companies integrating the performance monitoring with Power BI, like usage analytics or performance metrics or operational monitoring, and how the security insights are there, or productivity dashboards. So when we use all these, what happens is that even the leadership team will have a confident on how these are being used, and the real effectiveness of Copilot is understood there, right? So yeah. So also, whoever I spoke to organizations, what they say is there are few lessons they learn, right? So if they are going through a change process, you need to follow a change management, like, because if you create an agent and you put it on an environment, on the production environment, which is not recommended. So you need to put it on a test environment, slowly move it, and start with the pilot users. And for example, localization. So maybe for Asia Pacific, it is different, and EMEA, it's different. And nowadays, Copilot comes with a different language preferences as well. So you can use those based on your localization. And yes, hands-on training, or training the entire organization. And also we need to make sure that if it is EMEA, it is GDPR readiness, or if it is APAC, how is the data is compliance, right, to use Copilot. All these things are important to understand. So to finish off, I would just tell the latest update with Microsoft Ignite. One is a work IQ. So work IQ mainly follows the pattern, like how we work, and then it gives us the thing. Sorry about that. That's my daughter. So an agent 365 is like pre-built enterprise agents. Like, so it, for example, if I'm using a Word or a Excel or a PowerPoint, inside that agent 365, which is integrated with the Microsoft 365 apps. So apart from that, all these AI agents are integrated with the Office apps, and Copilot actions, like if we are integrating Power Platform or anything, then that can be executed, right? So these are the things which I wanted to talk about in today's session. Since it's my first session, maybe in future sessions I'll come up with more demo. Thank you.
That was great demo there, Priya.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
There
you.
you go. Very good. And it's great that Ignite are kind of after announcing the security feature that Chris mentioned earlier, and you also mentioned in your thing, because a lot of people are talking about, like as you said there, Microsoft is not going to use your data, they'll just protect it. And I think a lot of people are really kind of worried about that part of it, that they're using your data to train models and things like that. So, and like people are using Microsoft Office for years, and online and whatever. So, they're a responsible company. So I think that's good.
Thank you.
Frank, did you have time for a quick voice isolation demo?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Let me grab my video here.
And let's get some background noise. We've got somebody talking about VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP on a YouTube video. And I am trying to speak while I am listening to this other person talking at about the same volume I am, maybe even a little louder. Let's see how Teams handles the challenge. And let's get some background noise.
So this is the original.
We've got somebody talking about VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP
from one sheet to another in Excel.
a YouTube
And they work
video.
great on small tables.
And
the moment
I
your
am
file
trying to
grows,
speak
They can slow everything
well.
down because they
I am
duplicate data. So I'm going to show
listening
you
to
exactly why
this
the
other
pros
person
with beyond
talking
lookup
at about the
formulas
same
and the
volume I am.
alternative that will change
Maybe
the way
even a
you
little
work with
louder.
data forever.
Let's see how
Here's a
Teams
pretty common
handles
challenge.
the
Your boss asks you
challenge.
for a sales report showing
So I recorded that at the same time in PowerPoint and then recorded the Teams meeting so I could see the voice isolation. And my day job, they're looking for like a good example of where voice isolation can help. And I thought that's a good one. The other thing is if you have voice isolation turned on, and Frank, you and I are in the same place, voice isolation, if we're logged on as you, Frank, isolates your voice and avoids people hearing my voice and vice versa. So as helpful as voice isolation is, there's like a warning that you can't hear other people. So if they're trying to talk in the same room or the same computer you're on, you have to turn voice isolation back off so they can hear the other people. But it works really, really well.
Yeah, very good. That's, especially, the way we'd be on the product teams there and you got loads of people on.
Oh, yeah.
And, people talking over each other and wherever. You just tell them at the start, look, we're using voice isolation and just put your hand up if you want to say something. And yeah, it's good. Very good.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Congrats on the MCT.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Where did you take your instructional skills? Did you take those in person or online or a combination?
Yeah, it was through a company in India.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was
Did you
online.
find it valuable?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I took that 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It was in person and there was a videotape that had to be sent into Microsoft. It wasn't even like an online video. It was like a old VHS, tape and had to be mailed in. So I didn't get my MCT for probably maybe a week because of that back and forth and review. But
yeah, it was on my bucket list for a very long time because I love to, I'm starting with training. I love to share my knowledge. So I thought, okay, I should be an MCT to do that. So that
awesome.
Validated. Yeah. So I'm just slowly starting and yeah.
Welcome.
Sure. Thanks.
And if you ever think of looking to become an MVP, don't forget and reach out to us.
Yeah, sure.
We kind of have a lot of stuff there, and we help out people that are interested in pointing them in the right direction and giving them advice and stuff. So if you ever think you have enough stuff done, give us a shout. We'd be happy to help you with the nomination.
Thank you so much, Frank. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
And some of the stuff we were on earlier, and we're talking about the MCT, and I put a few things together, like having an MCT, right? It's a global badge of professional credibility, like hiring managers, training centers, corporate clients.
Learning and development, jobs, internal. There's a lot of different places it's valued.
So like MCTs, it's a gold standard for Microsoft technology instruction, and it's credentials that open doors, career advancement, higher paid training opportunities, international teaching. So it's a great one to have, the MCT. Like then 25 years. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's afforded me opportunities to travel, job opportunities. It led to Microsoft before Microsoft wasn't even at the time hiring a lot of Microsoft certified trainers, which they since have brought in a lot of internal MCTs. But at the time, I met somebody at Microsoft through the MCT and a delivery that I did. And that person reached back out with a job opportunity. So it's about half of the time I've been full-time at Microsoft, and about half of the time I've been either using the MCT or using the lessons from training at different places. Like my current day job, I'm using the lessons, developing internal curriculum.
Okay.
Well, Frank, we're coming up on 2 years of the Azure and AI show, right?
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Yeah.
And Journey to the Cloud, how long ago is that now?
I want to say that was 3 years ago. It was sometime in 2022, because Matthew reached out to me after I became an MCT or an MVP in April. And then April, I can't even remember the month anymore. I think it was April 1st, but it might have been February. And then by April, I think I had met Matthew. And, sometime probably in the spring or summer, we did the first Journey to the Cloud. I tracked back to the beginning of the Journey to the Cloud stuff through the events that we used to post.
Yeah.
So I'll try to get the exact date so we can celebrate that. I think it'll be like its third, maybe fourth in 2026.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah.
But it's really appreciating that you're giving an opportunity to everyone to express their views, because that is what is required for people like us. We need an opportunity. So yeah, thank you so much for this show.
Thank you. Frank has done a wonderful job of, making sure people know about it and bringing guests on, and it just becomes kind of a community of, people worldwide, and it's really, really phenomenal, Frank. Congrats.
Yeah, Sessionize here now is a great tool for getting speakers together. So I kind of, in the last couple of months, got 28 speakers together. So for up to Christmas now, and I'll be running another campaign for more speakers for January, February time. So
yeah, I always forget about the Sessionize. They do like a most active speaker award in the new year. So if you do enough things through Sessionize, you get awarded this badge for being like one of the top, I think it's like top 3%. It's a very, very exclusive percentage of their speakers or presenters. And it can be for in-person or, virtual, but you have to use Sessionize as like where you submit the session and where you get approved for the session. So
yeah, we'll have to take a look at that a bit more.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think Festive Tech Calendar uses it. You use it. A lot of the user groups. I've been more intentional this fall about trying to follow up with people through that, because then I've not gotten that badge for like the last 2 years. I got it 1 year, and then I think it's the last 2 years I haven't done enough through Sessionize to qualify as one of those, elite speakers, if you will. But some of it is I do things and I don't track them through Sessionize, so it doesn't count. If it's just,
you're definitely one of those anyway, Dan. Elite speakers, you're on every week. Amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
So
you as well.
Yeah, we try to keep it going. And helping out other people and that. So look, we're over the time. With having the other hour previous, like 2 hours is long to be on. We'll be back here again next week, and we have some more new speakers lined up. And Rafiah, thank you very much again for your great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.